Tottenham keep loan or sell part 2. This time we're covering younger players and the players that went out on loan last season. So we've got to start first with Josh Keeley, who really impressed with Leyton Orient as they pushed for the playoffs in the end. I think with him there's a lot of talk about him potentially leaving. Of course you've got Kinski, of course you've got Austin, of course you've obviously got Vicario. So I think it's looking like we potentially loan him again or sell him. We are stacked with up and coming centre-backs. So we'll first start with Luka Vuskovic, who was on loan at KVC Westerlo last season. There's a lot of talk about him coming in. However, I think there's other centre-backs that deserve their place. I would rather loan him to an English club personally. I think you've got Alfie Dorrington, who really impressed at Aberdeen as well. Obviously won the Scottish Cup with them. I would loan him again, maybe to an English club rather than a Scottish club. And then Ashley Phillips, who's been on loan at Plymouth, been on loan at Stoke, obviously come from Blackburn. I would keep him next season. I would have him as an added option in that Spurs team. Talk about stacked up-and-coming centre-backs. I think they're pretty stacked in central midfield as well. Let's start with Alfie Devine, who's been knocking on the door for a while since we signed him from Wigan. Obviously, he was at KVC Westerlo last season with Vuskovic, and he did okay there. I'd like to see him stay. I know he's a different player to Mikey Moore, but I want a sort of creative player to stay. If we don't keep him, then we loan him out again. I think there is a player there. George Abbott, who really impressed on loan at Notts County as they made the playoffs. He's left the Laskin mark. I'd like to see him go a higher level on loan before sort of having a go at Spurs. And then Jamie Donnelly, who really impressed again. The most assists in League One last season, and he only started assisting in December. A really great up-and-coming player. I don't think he's ready yet. I'll put him on loan again. But then it's a pretty mixed bag up top. We'll start with the boys who came through the academy. Scarlett, we all love Scarlett. We all want it to work for him. He's had a few loan spells, you know, Pompey, Oxford United, this, that, the other, and it's not quite worked. That goal against Elfsborg was beautiful, and there is a player there. You know, the things that Mourinho used to say about him. I think one more loan might work, and if it doesn't, then he might have to go. Lancashire, I don't think he really hit the ground running at West Brom, so I'd give him another loan personally. There definitely is a player there, and obviously he scored in the Europa League for us as well. And then the other boys, Yang Min Hook went on loan to QPR. I think they liked him enough. I don't think he's ready for the English game yet. I think he's still quite raw. Veliz, not understand about Veliz. That was just a signing out of nowhere that doesn't seem to have worked at all, because we keep loaning him to Spanish clubs and it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. He probably has to go. Brian Hill, I will never understand this one. I really wanted it to work for this kid. Really, really did. You know, I just think he's a bit lightweight. Never loaned him to an English club at all. Kept loaning him to Spain. And we paid 30 million and we let Coco go. I can't believe we let Lamela go and we brought in a geezer we just haven't played up. Brian Hill is definitely going to have to go. Manor Solomon, there clearly is a player there. He's been fantastic at Leeds. I just think personally the team is a bit too stacked for him to get in there, and I do think we should cash in on him this summer. Of course, there's other young Spurs players we've not spoken about. You know, Tyrese Hall has been in and around that first team for a while. You've got Ajay, who scored against Elfsborg. What a moment that was. I hope we can loan him out rather than get rid of him. But I do think some of these young players will stay and they'll make their mark on the team a little bit. You know, we are going to make some signings this summer, but I think maybe one or two of them are going to plug some of those holes. What do you think? What would you like to see? Let us know.